Back in February, I made a YouTube video titled My 2024 F1 Season Predictions, and it's fair to say it did pretty well. But we now are going to go back and rewatch it, and this is the first time for me rewatching it as well since I made, and we're going to see how many predictions I got right, how many I got disastrously wrong. Let's get right into it.
Today I'm going to show you my 2024 driver predictions for the F1 season. Let's see how crazy this order is. Comment down below your order. I'd really love to know. I read every single comment. Let's go right into it. So number 20, it's Logan Sargeant.
Starting off with the correct prediction then. 20th, technically Jack Doohan is behind him in the championship, but I'm going to go based off just the drivers that started the season, so that will be including Daniel Ricciardo as well, instead of Liam Lawson, who obviously replaced him after Singapore. But P20 and last was Logan Sargeant, and we were absolutely 100% correct on that. 1 for 1 so far. Let's see what I had to say about him and why I put him in 20th.
I'm sure many people saw this coming. Logan Sargeant, he's an okay driver. I mean, I don't think he deserved a second chance in F1, but Williams do tend to stick with their drivers with their youth drivers for more than others. So I personally think that they probably made the right decision, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll see how that goes for the second season, but I personally don't believe in Sargeant. I think he's going to finish bottom in 20th. He showed flashes of pace in 2022. In 2023, it was a good start for him in Bahrain, but the only reason he got points was because 2 other drivers got disqualified in Hamilton and Leclerc. So Logan Sargeant is going to be P20 for me.
So then, like I said already, we have got that prediction right. Interesting that I had to say that I thought Williams made the right decision about keeping Sargeant for the remainder of for the 2024 season, despite him only getting 1 point, I believe, in Austin in the whole season for 2023. But unfortunately for Sargeant, that he had no points at all this season, and he is at the bottom of the pile and in P20 in real life, 1 for 1. Who did I put in 19th?
P19. Now, P19 was either going to be an Alfa Romeo or a Haas, as I don't...
P19, I have gone for Zhou Guanyu, and I was wrong. P19 was actually Valtteri Bottas, the only driver to finish the Formula 1 season and not to score points. Real shame for him. He came close on a number of occasions. P11, I think, quite a few times. And in his last race in Abu Dhabi, he obviously got to Q3. But Zhou Guanyu, he did well, and I believe it was Qatar. So my apologies on that one. But let's see what I had to say about Zhou Guanyu and how I thought he'd perform in the 2024 season for Alfa Romeo, I said, but it actually stake.
I don't see either of those teams producing the cars for the drivers to do well in, but I've gone with P19 as Zhou Guanyu. I feel that he is a bit overrated, if I'm honest. I don't mean anything against him. I think he was really good in 2022, but 2023, Bottas struggled as well, to be fair, but 2024, I don't see Zhou Guanyu doing very well. I reckon he can get a couple points here and there, maybe finish the season on about 4 or something. That's my prediction.
Ayo! I got that right! Yo, pass me new. I did say a couple points finishes, but I said 4 points, and well, look who finished on 4 points. Zhou Guanyu with the 8th place finish in Qatar. Overrated though, I believe, Zhou Guanyu. Now, I'll be honest, at the end of the season, I don't think he's that overrated. I think he's actually, I wouldn't say underrated yet, but I wouldn't say he's overrated that much. Especially after that points finish, I was impressed, and I have to put my hands up and say I was wrong there, but I got that points finish spot on. Wonder if I made any other points finish predictions on this video. We'll see. I mean, I doubt it with the higher points, but I'll take that absolutely.
But Zhou Guanyu is going to be P19, I reckon. Sorry about that, but I'm going to blame it on the car rather than the driver, because P18 is...
Ooh, P18. I thought Bottas would just pip Zhou Guanyu I was wrong. Bottas, once again, like I said, the only driver to finish without points. And the driver who actually finished P18 was Oliver Bearman. But in terms of drivers that actually started the season, it was Daniel Ricciardo who finished P18. So a bit of shifting up. I wonder where I put Ricciardo. I think I might. I don't remember at all. But let's see what I had to say about Bottas.
Now Bottas is declining. First race at Alfa Romeo. He started so well with a P6 in Alfa, but it's just never got better from there. He did so well in 2022. 2023, he sort of declined, and the only reason I'm putting him ahead of Joe is that experience will boost him up ahead, I believe. Maybe in those pressure scenarios, maybe in the wet, the right call for Inters, because Joe still is only will be in his third season in Formula 1 in 2024. So I'm going to go with P18 for Valtteri Bottas. Now P17.
P17, I've gone for Kevin Magnussen. Well, about that, I was one off. It was Alexander Albon who actually finished in this position, amassing a total of 12 points. Kevin Magnussen just 1 place ahead in P16. And yeah, hold my hand up once again, I got that wrong. But I didn't believe Haas would be as fast as they were. And they were actually fighting with Alpine, I believe it was, in the championship until obviously they got their double podium in Brazil. So let's see what I had to say about Kevin Magnussen and his position.
Kevin Magnussen, he was quite good last season, I thought. In some races, in others he sort of dropped off. It was more of a form thing, really. He showed us he could beat Hülkenberg on a good day, and the Haas car was very good at qualifying. But I see Haas in a bit of a mess at the moment, with Gunther Steiner having just left and their new team principal just come in. I can't pronounce his name, but I don't want to try. But
or just couldn't be bothered to pronounce his name.
For the 2024 season, but I'm banking on maybe a couple lucky points for Haas here and there. But maybe Alfa Romeo might be ahead of them for 2020. But they tend to start well and drop off, so I'm banking on the second half of the season for Haas to just upturn in their form. So P17 is going to be Kevin Magnussen. And alongside Kevin Magnussen,
Nico Hülkenberg, P16 was quite far off with this one. Hülkenberg, P11, obviously in real life. P16, as I just mentioned, was Kevin Magnussen. But okay, I put the teammates next to each other so far, other than Albon. I thought Albon would have a standout season, but it doesn't seem so. Let's see what I had to say about Hülkenberg.
P16 will be Nico Hülkenberg's teammates. Hülkenberg did really well in his first season back in Formula 1, beating Magnussen, who is a good driver, don't get me wrong. But Hülkenberg, that weight is still going to go on for that first podium, I think, into 2024. And unless a miracle happens,
I wasn't wrong.
I can't see him getting it. But Hülkenberg did really well.
He almost got it, I believe, in the Austria Sprint. So, almost there. I think he was finished 4th or 5th in the end. He was leading the race or in second place at one point. Comment down below if I'm wrong about that.
Or if I got into Q3 a good number of occasions in 2024.
And in 2024, yeah.
In P16. P15 for me.
P15 I've gone for Albon, so I've had the Williams sandwich. So the only teams I've mentioned so far, I've mentioned both drivers. So it seems maybe off the back of the 2023 season, where the car proved for Verstappen to be so dominant, and for Perez, even though he had such bad form, he still managed to finish second in the championship in 2023. Maybe I'm basing it off the car is more important than the driver, which is very unlike what we saw in 2024 realistically, looking back. But I put Alexander Albon in P15 when it was actually Ocon who finished in P15.
B is going to be Alexander Albon. What a driver. Let's all give it hands down. Albon did really, really well in 2023. I think he was put into the Red Bull seat too soon in 2019, but he's actually looks like he's established himself as one of the best drivers.
Hang on. I've just been looking at the Formula 1 table. I've been getting that wrong. The person who actually finished 15th was Magnussen, and the person who finished 16th was Albon. So switch those around, and then Ricciardo 17th, which I still haven't mentioned yet. We'll see if I mention him soon.
On the grid when given the right car. He did so well in Canada, especially that defensive drive. And I think he'll be able to get P15. Despite Williams, I think will be a better car. I think other drivers will have the measure of him, and you'll see what I mean by that in a minute when I get to the constructors. So stick around for that.
I'm following.
Yes, P14 is going to be Pierre.
Ooh, that is a spicy pick from me. Very spicy. Wow. P14 actually was Ocon, so I got the right manufacturer. So we'll give myself a little half point there. I'm only on, I think, 1 point at the moment. So 1.5 points. I need all the points I get. The only prediction right was Logan Sargent. P14 Gasly. Okay.
Gasly, behind his teammate, behind the AlphaTauris. But I think Gasly had a good first season at Alpine. I think Ocon and Gasly probably the most evenly matched teammates on pace, on paper. Between
not sure about that. Gasly, I think, has the edge now.
Last season. So I'm going to go with Ocon just pipping Gasly at this point. And with Gasly in P14, getting quite a few good points. But the Alpine car is just never really progressed, I don't think. So
I wasn't wrong about that one.
P13, Pierre Gasly's teammate is going to be Esteban Ocon. I feel that he's going to beat Gasly this season. I feel like him losing out to the fellow Frenchman last year might inspire Ocon to try and up his performance and get better this season. So I'm going to go with P13 for Esteban Ocon.
Well, here's Daniel Ricciardo, but just a bit about Gasly versus Ocon. I'll be honest, Gasly really impressed me this season. Probably the best driver outside the top top 4 teams, which was, really good to watch. I think he didn't crash his car once all season, and that is just, an incredible stat. I don't think that any other driver did that, and he got regular points, got a couple podiums as well, and that's just really impressive. So fair play to Pierre Gasly. You proved me wrong. Absolutely thrashed Ocon, who obviously is going to Haas for 2025. But P12, I put Daniel Ricciardo. Not maybe as high as I wanted him to be in real life. Only P17 in real life, and it's not the best prediction from me. I'll be honest.
P12. P12 for me is going to be Daniel Ricciardo, and yes, Daniel Ricciardo, I know what you're thinking, I know what you're saying. What? Who? He's an AlphaTauri. They were so bad last season. Ricciardo's...
I should have listened to everyone else other than me. It seems that I made a hot take there, and I have gone, and it has proved completely wrong. In an AlphaTauri, he couldn't get more than 4 points all season, and he got dropped before the US Grand Prix.
No, surely not that good to drag the AlphaTauri ahead of both Alpines. Now that's true. That is 100% true. But you're forgetting that AlphaTauri are going to have some of Red Bull's parts from last season. And I forgot about this, I forgot that AlphaTauri were going to have Red Bull's parts from last year. They didn't help Ricciardo. They didn't really help Tsunoda either. It didn't really help the team very much. But, I don't think they made a difference. I completely forgot about that. All the controversy surrounding that. Okay, well, I was wrong then about that as well, it seems. That, I think, is going to prove the difference. So I'm putting Daniel Ricciardo in P12 ahead of the Alpines for this season.
Well, Alpine were terrible anyway, so...
I'm going to be really furious if this is true. I hope it's not, but I feel that Red Bull are somehow going to manage to keep it within the rules, and they're going to be ahead of Alpine, and everyone else, they're probably going to be best of the rest, which is a shame, to be honest, because it doesn't really show how AlphaTauri have made their own parts. They're just borrowing it from their sister team. Now, I'm calling them AlphaTauri because as of this moment, AlphaTauri's official name hasn't been released. Many are calling them Racing Bulls, so We'll see. I might call them Racing Bulls for P11. So P11,
Oh, well, that was a crude cut. But obviously RB, not race. Well, Visa Cash App RB, we'll call them. Long name. P11, I've gone for Lance Stroll. Lance Stroll, P13 in real life. It was Hulkenberg who actually finished P11. And, yeah, honestly, an underwhelming performance this season from Stroll. Overshadowed perhaps by the fact of Perez's poor performances. But I feel that Stroll, is not good enough to be in Formula 1. And Aston Martin didn't produce the car that they had at the start of last season. And that really showed, both with Alonso and Stroll. But Alonso was way more consistent, much better. And I just don't see Stroll leaving, unfortunately, the Aston Martin until, as his father's dream is, to get Stroll a world championship in his own team.
Stroll. I think Stroll, people say he's underrated, some people say he's overrated. I say he's quite fairly rated.
What is Lance Stroll? Is Lance Stroll underrated, overrated, or fairly rated? Because loads of people hate on him and stuff. I don't think anyone says he's actually a decent driver. I think Stroll's a decent driver considering he is just there because his dad owns the team. He's quite decent in that context, but overall he's pretty terrible. But comment down below if you think Lance Stroll's underrated, overrated, or fairly rated. What do you guys think?
I think that he's a good driver he's a driver of good caliber. But I think the only reason he's actually in the sport is because of his dad. I think if his dad weren't to own the sport, he'd probably be still a decent driver, but he's not F1 worthy. I mean, you saw last season Fernando Alonso getting podium after podium at the start of the season. To be fair to Stroll, he did do quite well at the start of the season with that overtake on Sainz around the outside.
I remember that. That was a great
probably
overtake.
One of the best overtakes of the season, if I'm completely honest. But I personally think that Lance Stroll will be finishing once again much behind his teammate Fernando Alonso, who doesn't seem to be declining anytime soon. So I put Lance Stroll as P11. P10. Now, P10 is going to be Yuki Tsunoda. I expect him to be both Stroll and Ricciardo.
Okay, P10, Yuki Tsunoda. Will he get that Red Bull seat? At the time of this recording, Red Bull have not actually officially announced their driver lineup and RB's driver lineup for the 2025 season. So comment down below, and again, what you think, who you think will be in the Red Bull seat, and maybe who you think deserves to be in the Red Bull seat. Tsunoda, P12 actually in the end, but faced some stiff competition. P10 actually went to the one and only Frenchman of Pierre Gasly, who had, as I said already, a stellar season. But Tsunoda wasn't that far off, only 10 points or so off from them. But, okay, let's hear what I had to say. Then react to that as well.
Because of those Red Bull parts and Tsunoda getting better and Ricciardo slowly getting worse. So I'm going to go with Tsunoda in P10. But to be honest, I only see them getting better from here with Red Bull's parts. I don't know if Red Bull will sort of do some sort of deal with the FIA or something, because people are going to be really mad if
corruption at its finest
turn up with Red Bull's old parts and going
conspiracy
really well.
theory.
Although it's probably quite similar to the relationship Haas have with Ferrari. And look where that's got Haas. So
they got them quite well this year.
As now we move on to P9. P9, I have gone...
Okay, firstly, before we do my prediction, why is the chapter being called Oscar Pastry? He's not pastry. That's a human. Well, about this, I think I might have been wrong here, lads. He actually finished P4, behind only Verstappen, his teammate Norris, and Leclerc. And he was only just behind... he was only just ahead of Sainz, actually. But that was also because of that last race. Got 2 wins under his belt as well. His first one, obviously, in Hungary. I wonder what I said about McLaren's car in this.
for Oscar Piastri. He had a great rookie season, to be honest, and I expect McLaren once again to be fighting for those podiums and maybe even the race wins, but we'll see. But for me, I can't see Piastri. Still only in his second year of Formula One. Still quite
underestimated
young. I don't think he'll be able to beat the elder ones, the older people with more experience, the Hamiltons, the Alonsos, the Norrises.
He beat them all except Norris.
I just can't see him beating
and Leclerc
them
and
if he's given the car. They've got much more experience, which is going to help them in those pressure situations. And I can see Piastri, despite his amazing rookie year, maybe not doing as well in comparison to his second year in Formula One.
So I put that down to a blip then I said Oscar's rookie year was a blip. Once again, completely wrong. Oscar Piastri, I will never doubt you again. One of the best drivers in Formula One, especially considering how young he still is. Possibly even better than Norris. What do you guys think? But I've gone for P9 for Oscar Piastri. I'm not sure that's wise looking back. But obviously we didn't know about the competitiveness of the car. But let's see where I put Norris.
But I still think he is a future world champion and has the potential to become one of the greatest drivers of all time. He had the best rookie season in 2023.
Couple world championships.
Hamilton in 2007. And look where that got Lewis. 7 world championships. I'm not saying Piastri can get 7.
Is crazy.
But McLaren, if they provide the car, he certainly will be able to win a couple when Norris leaves.
Will he leave?
Now, P8, I've gone for...
Right, this was terrible prediction, I'll be honest. P9 Fernando Alonso, actually. So not terrible. Actually, that's not too bad. One off, but it was more what I said about Alonso that will... and with Piastri there, it sort of overshadows it. Let's see what I said about Alonso.
Fernando Alonso. Now, for me, Alonso is still doing really well in that Aston Martin. Really well, especially... for where it was towards the latter end of the season. He doesn't look like he's getting worse anytime soon, but to be honest, don't see Alonso staying in Formula One for 2025.
Wrong. He is staying for 2025. And is it 2026 as well? He's definitely... I remember he signed new contracts, but was it to the end of 2025? Don't quite remember. Or was it to 2026?
And definitely not 2026.
There's more life in the old bear of Alonso. There's more life in this young rookie we have here.
He's getting old, so I don't see Alonso staying in the F1 for much longer. But I do think in his final couple seasons, he will be able to still take everything out of that Aston Martin. And I'm sure he'll do it well. But Aston Martin, I don't see them having the best form that they did in 2020.
Was right there.
So I'm going to put Alonso in P8. So in P7, I've gone for Carl.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, the smooth operator. I'm sorry. He finished P5, I believe, just behind Piastri. Oh dear. I haven't mentioned either Mercedes as yet. P7 was actually Lewis Hamilton. I haven't even mentioned Perez yet. Where have I put all of them?
Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari. I think Ferrari will once again up their game. They've got a completely new design concept, as with Mercedes. So it's sort of a 50-50 of who's going to go better. I'm going to go Carlos Sainz despite his amazing form last year. One of his best years, if not his best year, in Formula 1. I'm Carlos Sainz in P6 because...
P7.
I don't see him beating Leclerc, despite he almost did last season. I don't see him beating Leclerc. And I think Russell will have upped his game. Well, I hope.
We did, but it was the car.
Game because I am a very big Mercedes fan, and I hope.
Yeah, this probably reflected quite a bit in the predictions. My bias. So maybe I should have put Sainz a bit higher. Maybe we'll see who I put P6. It better have been Perez.
I hope Mercedes will produce a car this season. So P7 is going to go to Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari. Now P6, I just mentioned him, is George Russell.
Okay, you know what? Yes, but also no. Yes, in the fact that Russell is P6, so that is another correct prediction from us. Maybe not in the right light, but we got another correct prediction. I think that's our second correct prediction. But yeah, wherever I put Perez, I really, really overestimated where he'd go. But Russell P6, you know what? We'll take it. We'll take another correct prediction. What did I say about him?
I think Russell will do really much better this season compared to last season at Mercedes. Maybe closer towards the 2022 season, his first season at Mercedes. But I still don't think he will be beating Hamilton. I think Russell,
got that wrong.
the new Mercedes, with the new design concept, will be fighting to be the lead driver. But Hamilton, I still think, is the lead driver of Mercedes until he retires. I think Hamilton.
I don't know. I don't know if it was announced yet that Hamilton was going to Ferrari at this point. I do not believe that it was. I don't think that I knew he was going to Ferrari at this point in time, which might reflect my my predictions. But Russell P6, believing he would not be better than Hamilton, wrong there. Russell did really well, incredibly well against Hamilton, who obviously his qualifying place has gone somewhere. I'm not sure where it is, and I'm a bit disappointed about that. But hopefully he can find it again in Ferrari.
He's going to be there. He's won 6 of his 7 world titles there, and won them pretty much 8 constructors. So you can't really fault Hamilton at this moment in time.
You now can.
Russell's still reasonably young. He's getting on a bit now. Maybe he needs to start thinking about fighting for those podiums that Hamilton was so consistently last season, which is what brought him up into P3 and almost P2 in the championship. Actually, took very close to Sergio Perez. So I'm going to put George Russell in P6. So in P5, I've put Charles Leclerc.
P4.
Now,
hang on. It is P5. I've done that wrong. I've said put P4 on the screen. It's P5. That's my bad.
What? Leclerc? He's much better than Perez. Look at his form last season. Yes, that is 100% true.
Okay, let's see my reason against.
Leclerc is a qualifying merchant.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I'm gonna get cooked in the comments. Oh dear. Qualifying merchant, Charles Leclerc. Okay. In all fairness, he has got a lot more poles than wins. But this year, he's really stepped up this game. He's done so much better in the races as well. Maybe it's the tyres. He's doesn't push as much on his tyres, and maybe Ferrari's car is less lenient on the tyres. But Leclerc finished P3 in the end, so I was only a couple places off, but maybe I should have put Perez a bit lower down.
He does so well in qualifying, and he's got some good defence, so he just stays like that in the race. But to be fair, in the last part of the season, he did do extremely well in the race, so I can't fault him there. And I expect him to carry that form towards the start of this season. But I think Leclerc, when under pressure, he just loses it. I mean, there's so many examples. For example, in France in 2022, he was winning the race comfortably. He didn't have to push the car at all, but he made a driver error and spun. Miami in 2023.
He's ruled those out, by the way.
Causing a red flag. And also other times, which I can't remember right now. But Leclerc does crash a lot. You can't deny it. So I think Leclerc is going to do well, and he's probably going to be better than Perez over the course of the season. But I feel that Perez in that Red Bull will maybe notch up a win if Verstappen lets him.
That aged well. No wins for Perez the whole season. Everyone else in the top 4 teams got 2 at least.
Crash a bit too much and maybe lose the P4 late on in the season.
P5.
So I'm going to go P5 for Charles Leclerc. 4, yes, I've gone for.
Yeah, okay, so that's switch those around. P4 Sergio Perez, massively overestimated in P8 in the end. Will he still be in that Red Bull seat come next weekend? Come next season? Well, we'll find out very soon.
Sergio Perez. Now, a lot of you probably would expect me to put him lower, but I think he's still in that Red Bull, and yes, he made loads of mistakes last season, and he's still got P2.
And still made loads of mistakes this
season. Which shows that Red Bull is so dominant.
You know what this shows? The fact that Perez still made the exact same number of mistakes and finished P8 shows that Red Bull had such a dominant car last year. Perez had the liberty to make all those mistakes, and also that the fact the field closed up meant that Perez couldn't afford to make those mistakes anymore, and that caused him dropping down the order, with all the other drivers being on a much more level plane to Verstappen and Red Bull. So I think that's really what the difference was this season to last in terms of Red Bull's performance relative. But Verstappen, which I'm sure we'll get to later, was still incredible for Red Bull this season.
If Perez can drive the Red Bull to half its potential, I think that he will get P2.
I believe at this point I'm thinking Red Bull will still be as dominant as they were in 2023, and I don't think the whole Christian Horner and Newey leaving has actually happened just yet. So maybe this is another reason why I've put Perez a bit higher than he actually did finish.
I don't think he'll be able to do it to half his potential. He crashes too much. I think Perez, he did well in 2021 and 2022, to be fair, and he is a good driver, but he is getting a bit old, and we're going to see some sort of form declining. We already saw a bit of it last season when he was under pressure in the championship fight, and then when in the mid-season where he got 7 Q1 7 times in a row. He didn't make it to Q3. I mean, if you want to be a world champion, you can't be.
He's not going to be a world
champion.
champion.
To be making Q3 consistently. Bottas made it 103 times.
Whipping out the Bottas stats.
Q2 while he was at Mercedes, and he didn't win a world championship. He didn't even get close to Lewis Hamilton. So, what is it for Perez next?
In all fairness, if Hamilton was not at Mercedes, he would have got world championships. It's just Hamilton's a one-of-a-kind kind of driver.
After he leaves Red Bull, which I don't doubt he will in 2024, after the 2024 season, I think he will leave, maybe go to Audi, but we'll see.
He's not going to Audi.
So P4, I've gone for Sergio Perez. Now P3, I'm going for Lando Norris. I think McLaren.
Okay, P2. Really okay, finished P2 in the end, actually. So we weren't too far off, but the top two are Hamilton and Verstappen, and one of those is going to be right. One of those is going to be disaster. Well, not disaster. One of those is going to be quite badly wrong. But Lando Norris P3. The fact that I've put Norris P3 and Piastri P9, it just shows how stupid I was at the ripe old age or ripe young age of that I was in February. So, you know, I've aged a lot in these 8 months and come to realise that I was a stupid man back in February.
Turn up this year, they've certainly posted whatever it takes to beat Red Bull on their Instagram.
Well, they did beat Red Bull, didn't they?
YouTube. They're going all in for this world championship.
And they got it too.
I think the rookie, or the young Oscar Piastri being young, might cost him a bit compared to Alonso. But Lando Norris, he is a lot more experienced than Piastri, and I think he in the car, as we saw quite a lot last season, Norris can definitely go for wins. But he hasn't got it yet, but I expect Norris to get his first win in 2024 if the Red Bull doesn't prove.
I was right on that one. Miami 2024, Lando Norris wins.
To dominance. So I'm going Lando Norris in P3. That only leaves two drivers. One of them is Max Verstappen, the other is
Hamilton.
Lewis
Glaze
Hamilton.
is crazy.
So, and my P2 is Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, okay. What I was going to say, if I said Max Verstappen, I'd be leaving. I'd be going. But, you know, Hamilton P2, more of a pipe dream than an actual sensible guess. Again, it all depended on the car's performance, and Mercedes weren't up to scratch as much as they were in 2021 and in the previous era, and they weren't up to scratch as Hamilton hoped, and that caused obviously his move to Ferrari. Hamilton P7 in the end actually finished just ahead of Perez, well, not just, quite comfortably ahead of Perez, and just behind his teammate George Russell. But, you know, at least I didn't put Verstappen in P2.
Mercedes, They say they've found a second or 2 seconds in the simulator, and I don't believe it.
Well, if they found a second or two in the simulator, they must have been real slow before.
I'll be honest, I think Toto Wolff always, he over exaggerates how much Mercedes have improved. Then we come to the race weekend and they say, we knew immediately that we'd gone wrong.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
So I'm going for Lewis Hamilton in P2. He's such a consistent driver.
Go with the side pods.
Much better. Still say he's probably one of the best drivers on the grid, if not the best driver on the grid. Yes, better than Max Verstappen. I think Hamilton, with the right car...
We saw flashes of it. To be fair. We did see flashes of Hamilton being an incredible driver and still having it, but I can't lie. I think Verstappen, as much as I don't like him as a person, I do think that Verstappen, he is the best driver on the grid. Maybe a bit aggressive, but in terms of pure pace, I would say Verstappen is the best driver.
Be able to get his 8th World Championship. If it was up to me, and if I was predicting what I want to happen, I would definitely put Hamilton ahead of Verstappen because he definitely deserves 8 world titles and to beat Schumacher's record. So P2 for me is going to be Lewis Hamilton. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, that none of you could have predicted, the driver that I think will be first is Max Verstappen. You guys knew it. I knew it. Probably everyone knows it. But if Red Bull produce a car that's that Verstappen likes, Verstappen's going to drive it so well, and he's probably not going to make another single mistake this season. Do I think
he made quite a few? He got a bit nervy, didn't he, when Norris got quite close to him? But it was that drive from 17th in Brazil to win that just, for me especially, made him just won in the championship there. Even though it was still mathematically possible, it wasn't going to happen from there. So, Verstappen going P1 is another correct prediction. So we're on 3.5 overall now. 3.5? I believe it is 3.5. Yes, we will take that.
The grid will be closer? Yes. Do I think Verstappen will go have such a dominant season? No. I think Verstappen will still win the championship by quite some margin, but I do expect more races like Singapore, not necessarily without Verstappen, but Verstappen having to fight for the win rather than cruising by 11 seconds to the nearest rival.
It's quite accurate, that, you know.
For me, Max Verstappen, unstoppable still. I think Verstappen is going to go for the win for his 4th World Championship this year. I might make a prediction when he secures it. If I had to guess, I think Verstappen will secure his 4th world title if he does secure his 4th world title. I reckon by...
Okay, wait, hang on. Where did he actually secure it? It was Las Vegas, wasn't it?
Mexico.
No! No, wait. What was the day? How many races was I off? Okay, Mexico happened Friday, 25th of October. Verstappen secured it on the 22nd. Okay, I was a month off. Okay, how many races? I was 2 races off. It went Mexico, Brazil, where he just dominated, and then Las Vegas. So, I was 2 races off. Two races off. Okay, it's not terrible. You know, I should do this for the 2025 season. Well, it's fun reacting to it. I'll be honest, it's good.
I think Max Verstappen will have secured his 4th world title in Mexico. What a way to do it as well in front of that crowd. Perez's home crowd won't be too happy about it if Perez gives him some sort of fight.
Verstappen almost got 20 seconds worth of penalties in that race, if you remember. So, and he didn't secure it either.
Fingers crossed that Hamilton or Norris or Mercedes or a team in general will bring the fight to Red Bull.
They did. McLaren did.
I can't see anyone stopping Max Verstappen. But guys, if you have enjoyed this video,
I have.
2024 F1 driver predictions, do make sure to like and subscribe. It helps out so much. I'm going for 100 subscribers.
We're there.
Help. I know I can do it. Click that red button. Hit the like button, comment your own 2024 driver order. I'd love to know them. And I'll see you guys next time for my next mighty partner, the Las Vegas Grand Prix. I'm super excited for it. I've already recorded it. It's a real good one. So make sure to hit the notifications bell as well to be ready for that one. And I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.
Okay then, guys, make sure you like just like I have done now, and also click the little subscribe button that will appear right here.